Welcome to Sealm Stream. This is Sealm. Today, I am making lean, beanless turkey artichoke chili. Let me make sure I have the spices. Oh gosh, I didn't get the spices! Rosemary, oregano, some black pepper. Do I have enough of that? I hope so. Some chili powder. You can't have chili without chili powder. Oh no. Oh good. I got more. That was completely out of chili powder. A little bit of salt. Some cumin powder. I've got some of that. Oh, some cayenne. Brown sugar. Okay, so these are my spices. Over here, we have 3 pounds of ground turkey, 2 cans of corn, 2 cans of artichoke hearts, 1 large yellow onion, a whole clove of garlic, about a dozen tomatoes. If you get the larger, it doesn't matter what kind of tomatoes. We're going to blend these. If you get the larger, like beef steak sandwich tomatoes, maybe like 10 instead of 12, or even less. I don't know. 3 green bell peppers, 2 jalapenos, and 4 to 6 Roma tomatoes. Okay, so I've already rinsed all this off. Let's go ahead and get started. First thing I'm going to do, we're going to dice up these tomatoes and throw them in the blender. Romas, don't need you just yet. Get over there. Jalapenos, you too. Bring over the blender. And pop this lid open. How's it look in there? Okay. This knife needs sharpening. Oh my gosh. That's how you kind of know when a knife needs sharpening, is when it doesn't break a tomato skin, it just kind of smushes down. It should do more like that. See, this part is nice and sharp, goes right on through. It doesn't really matter what shape we cut them in. I just want them smaller so the blender can handle it a little bit better. Okay, throw the lid on that, blend this up. Of course, I have to plug this thing in. Let's do that. I'm using the ice crush pulse, or the mix, just to get it started. Okay, that's done. That's really satisfying watching it blend. All right, this is going in the crock pot. Go ahead and dump that in. Normally we start with a cold crock pot. Let's make it a little bit of a sizzle, because I left it on by accident when I was cleaning it. I was actually testing to make sure this outlet worked. And then I forgot to come back and check on it, so yeah. All right, the rest of these tomatoes, these are going at the bottom, so I'll cut them a little bit smaller just to help the blender get started. Yeah. So what we're doing, this is going to be the base for the chili. This is a chili recipe entirely from scratch. Oh boy, that is really full. That is really full. Where's the lid? Put the lid over here in the counter. The lid doesn't go down. All right, here goes nothing. All right, that looks good. So we've blended up a dozen tomatoes now. This is also going into the crock pot. Get in there. Okay, close enough. Okay, while that's going, let's go ahead and put in about a tablespoon of salt. I don't have tablespoons. I'm going to use these spoons, which I use on the table. That'll work. So about that much, like a quarter size. Okay, rosemary. I don't really measure this stuff, but I would say about a tablespoon of this as well. Rosemary kind of is good for the tomatoes, but it's mostly for the meat. I'm just going to put it in here so it can start cooking. And how can I do this without causing an earthquake in the camera? I don't know. So I'm going to do that. That's going to put some herby flavors in there that will cook with the meat, which is going in pretty soon. Oregano is the same deal. Maybe I can, oh yeah. You might be wondering, does this look a lot like tomato sauce? Well, yeah, it actually kind of does. If you were to boil those tomatoes, remove the skins, and then cook it for a long time with rosemary, oregano, maybe some parsley and thyme. Let's throw some thyme in there. What kind of chili is this, you might be thinking? Well, it's not a very traditional one. I'll give you that. Too lazy to remove the lid from this, so I'm just going to dump it straight in. Call that about a tablespoon's worth. This is going to make about 6 quarts, maybe 5 quarts when it cooks down of chili. It's going to be a big batch. I'm going to be eating this for a long time. Okay, we'll let that cook for now. We'll add the other spices a little bit later. Let's see, you got some corn. Pouring out some corn juice for my homies. Wow, okay, this is about done. Can't believe this takes so long. I'm just going to put these down here. Let them... Okay, they're done. The reason why I wanted to open these up is because... Let me see. Because I want the cans to drain the meat juices into. Gotta find some place where you can drain the fat and throw it out. I'm just going to toss these right in there. That's getting awfully full already. Alright, corn's done. I'm going to hold on to one of these to drain some fat into. We'll just kind of set this aside for now. I'm going to need onions and garlic. Throw away all these little garlic bits. These get everywhere. I'm just going through. For each clove of garlic, I'm just cutting off both ends. Not really bothering with peeling them super cleanly yet. That comes later. You can kind of get some of the peel off as you cut it, which is just a bonus, but not really the purpose of this. Ooh, that just peeled itself right there. Nice. Okay, take all of this and dump that in the trash. I'm going to set these aside. I'll just cut a little bit more off the end of that. So what I'm doing is I'm smashing the garlic because once you cut the ends off of it, the peels come right out. Smash it with the flat of the blade and as it expands, it pushes itself out of the peel. So, easy trick. This one probably needs more smashing. Yeah, the Chloe mug is one that I've already had. I had that custom printed a different time, but I decided that it probably has enough popular appeal that maybe someone else might like it as well. So I put it up on the merch store. By the way, I have a merch store now. You can hear the echo when he slams them. Well, you gotta show the garlic who's boss. Okay. Just grab it by both ends and rock it back and forth. This isn't the most methodical way to do it, but I just want to get roughly minced garlic parts. I'm going to go ahead and drop half of this into the pot right now. Okay, there's the ground turkey. Go ahead and start the heat on this. I'm just going to dump this straight in. Okay, all right, there it goes. 3 pounds of ground turkey. Let that just kind of warm up a little bit. I need to put this garlic aside somewhere. It's in the way. I'm just going to drop it in one of these Tupperwares for now. This garlic smells so good. If you like the way garlic smells, you would love this right now. Okay, I learned a new trick for onions, I think. Let me see. I'm going to leave this end on. I'm going to cut this end off. Then I'm just going to chop it right in half. See, that should let me peel it. Okay, so you can see that we still have like the rooty part of the onion still on here, and that's fine. That's going to help it hold together while we do this dicing method, which I haven't tried yet. It may or may not work that well. Get out of here, roots. Okay, so what we're going to do, just going to start at the end and start cutting slices down, but not all the way through. Oh, my eyes. Oh, my eyes. Onion, why do you have to be this way? There. All right, so now I've got this sliced lines across that way. Now as I cut it, it's nicely diced. And just toss that little stub at the end. And put that in the container, because this is all going in with the meat in a little bit. Onions, you guys got everywhere. We're doing jalapenos today. It's gonna be interesting. I have, I don't know, a few strategies to not get jalapeno juices on my hands, but none of them are very elegant. I don't have any cooking gloves, I pretty much just, well, I guess you'll see in a moment. Okay. Oh, my eyes. I'm like squinting my eyes one after the other just to alternate which ones get to feel the burn. Because I need one of them to see at all times because I'm handling this knife. The turkey is releasing its juices, some fats and whatnot. Let's go ahead and check on that. If I leave it too long, it's not gonna crumble properly. All right, it's softening up. We'll go ahead and break it up a little bit. I should drain it. It looks like it just kind of absorbed up all the juices, which is not what I wanted. Trying to make this kind of a lean, healthy chili because real chili is like hearty and meaty and also really fatty too. I want to, when I make a big batch like this, I'm going to be eating it all week. So it can't be really terrible for me if I want to survive it. That needs to simmer a little bit more. We want it to brown and release more juices, and then we'll drain that. We'll drain the fat, toss the onions and the garlic in, and we'll heat that up. We'll kind of heat that up the rest of the way. Also, tomatoes. No, I'll do those last. Bell peppers. These take a little while. So the trick for bell peppers, you just kind of take the knife, go straight down. I don't want to do this too hard. I want to go all the way through it. And you cut around the stem right here. Just go down a few inches in. It's probably better with a paring knife of some kind. Okay, pick a seam, cut down the side, and then kind of spread it open and so this center core full of seeds just comes right out. You can spread this open and scoop out this white part, whatever remaining seeds are, with a spoon. So that's done. I've got 3 bell peppers. We'll just kind of rinse out the rest of the seeds. Okay, cleaned 3 bell peppers. Let's check on the turkey. Kill that heat. This is actually pretty decent. Let me just separate this out a little bit. Okay, I'm going to put the lid back on. We're going to drain the fat out of this. Okay, so this was something that I was saving, one of the cans, for this purpose. And look, let's take this right here. Oh no! No, we lost some turkey. We lost a lot of turkey. Oh, I failed so hard. Okay, that turkey's lost forever. I'm not going to save it. I'm just going to be really sad about it. Okay, that is really unfortunate. Be more careful than me when you do this. Okay, so we drained all the fat. It's pretty good lean turkey meat now. Oh, this is so sad. The turkey. Poor turkey. Ugh. Oh no. I'm gonna have nightmares now about turkey being lost. Okay, the meat's ready, so onions and garlic. I'm gonna toss that in there. Put the heat back on, and we'll let the onions get a little bit translucent. The same thing in the onions that makes your eyes hurt probably is what's responsible for the meat tenderizing capabilities of onions, which, if you did not know, onions do tenderize meat, which is why you often see them cooked together. So I don't really need to mix that up too much. I'm just going to cover it and let the heat do its thing. In the meantime, we're going to go back to the bell peppers. Okay, so bell peppers, you got these curvy parts, you just cut them off. We'll dice those pretty much the same way I did the garlic, really just rock the knife back and forth across them. We don't care exactly about the shape that it comes out to. And just cut that off there. So these are all the pepper ends. Now this is all going to cook down in the pot, so it doesn't have to be diced too finely. And the shapes don't really matter, because again, it's going to cook down into little bits. So who cares what it looks like, right? Just going to do crossways chop. I kind of like big chunks in my chili. It's nice. It makes you feel like you're eating healthy when you get these big chunks of vegetables. Okay, this is going right into the crock pot. So, all of that other stuff was to make this part really easy when it comes to chopping peppers. Just now we have these nice flat chunks of pepper. We just cut them into strips. And now they're easy to dice. It smells so good. We haven't added any spices yet. It smells really good. Maybe because I'm hungry. I think that's what it is. Yeah. I think there's just something about the smell of grilled turkey and caramelizing onion together that just smells so good. It's reminding me of the time that I made shepherd's pie for the stream. And if you haven't seen it, you can check it out on my videos on demand or on my YouTube account, Sealm Stream on YouTube. Just Google Sealm Stream and you'll find it there, along with some other cooking streams that I did. I also made cupcakes. Okay, the reason why I'm putting this in the pot first is because I need it to cook down. With everything that we've put in the pot, it's gonna be brimming with chili ingredients. Okay, all right, artichokes. My nails are not strong enough for this. Why did I choose artichokes? No particular reason. They just seem like kind of a healthy vegetable choice that would be a decent replacement for the beans that I'm not using. Originally, I wanted to combine a spinach dip recipe with a chili recipe, and this is kind of the result. Like an artichoke spinach dip without the spinach or the dip, and chili without the beans. Yeah, I'll just do one can at a time. So artichoke hearts. Some people aren't a fan of them. If you're not a fan of them, don't use them. They're not really critical to this recipe. Artichoke hearts, unlike the other vegetables, don't really cook down that much. So I'm just gonna chop them just into medium chunks. There's a lot of leafy stuff, so it'll separate in the chili. I just want to put as many vegetables into as possible, give it a head start on cooking down before I try to fit this entire pot of turkey and onions in there. Okay, let's put these in the crock pot. This crock pot is looking very full already. So you can see the crock pot's getting really full. We are almost there. Almost there. Put the lid on that, give that a chance to heat up, cook down those vegetables a little bit. Speaking of cooking down vegetables, let's do tomatoes. Similar to the onion, there's a trick. Just kind of cut them almost all the way down to the end. Just gonna cut kind of a nice hash, crossways hash into it. So now I've cut these hash marks and just chop it like this. Gets us a nice cubey parts. I won't go as fine on the tomato this time. Maybe this way it'll hold together a little bit better for the chopping. I say that, but I cut it exactly as I did last time. This time I will for sure do kind of coarser cuts. We'll do bigger cubes so it'll hold together a little bit better. Less likely to turn into kind of a mush when I chop it. Okay, get in there, tomatoes. We are almost done. Oh, the last step, the spiciest step, jalapenos. All right, I've got the bag, the plastic bag that it came in. I'm just gonna put my hand in there. That'll be my plastic glove. And I'm just gonna cut this off like last time. Do that. I'm gonna go ahead and carefully make an incision to separate the core from the edges. I don't know if you can see this. And then cut it down the middle. Carefully, without going all the way through, just gonna cut it about halfway. Take the spoon, split this thing open, and scoop out that core. And then I'll scoop out some of the core over here that I missed, same way as we do with the bell peppers. And rinse out the remaining seeds. Okay, there it is. If you like spicy, and if you like really spicy, you can leave the seeds in. But just know that the longer you leave the chili, Even after it's cooked, the spicier it's gonna get. So next day, be pretty spicy. 3 days later, very spicy. So it's not gonna be consistent. That's why I take out the seeds. I'm just gonna make up for it with a lot of chili powder and cayenne. A lot of black pepper too. This plastic bag glove thing isn't working that well, but it's going to protect me when it comes down to washing my hands later and touching my face and my eyes and stuff with this hand. Because the time I didn't use a glove of any sort, my hand was spicy for a whole day, and everything I touched hurt. Okay. It's gonna be interesting because this looks so much like the bell pepper. When it's time to eat this, it will be a surprise what you get in your bite. Okay. Jalapenos in the mix. For this part, we're gonna start with what we're gonna use the most of, and that's gonna be chili powder. See, this one's almost done. And call that most of a spoon. So that's one. We're gonna do 6 of these. Three, 4, 5, 6. A cumin powder. Because 3 spoonfuls of this is going to take a while. Do that. 1. 2. 3. Actually, I'm gonna go 4. Okay, here's hoping that I have enough black pepper for this. I'm gonna do 6 scoops of this as well. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're looking pretty spicy now. Okay, 3 spoonfuls of cayenne. Cayenne sneaks up on you. It doesn't burn right away. Oh, this makes me want to sneeze. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Ugh. Okay, I didn't sneeze. Gah. We're gonna do 6 scoops of brown sugar. Six heaping spoonfuls. 1, 2. I'm trying to move fast. 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, 6 spoonfuls of brown sugar. I think the best way, rather than pouring, is just to scoop it in a little bit at a time. Get that all together. Now remember, the spices are in the big thick layer right between the meat and the vegetables. So we're gonna give it a stir. If I can somehow do that, this is all gonna cook down, I promise. I don't know how I'm gonna stir this. By the time this is done, it's going to be boiling, bubbling, cooked down significantly, and so the spices will kind of distribute themselves, but I'm helping it along since I didn't do a very good job of distributing it, putting the spices in. I just kind of plop them into 1 or 2 spots just over the surface. Look at that beautiful corn coming up. It's a great color. Looking, because wow, look at that. All right, we're ready. This is all done. That took a lot longer than it needed to, probably because the camera kept dying. But we're at about the 2-hour mark, a little bit less than 2 hours, like an hour 45, and I'm gonna clean this stuff up. It'll be about 2 hours, but this will feed me many, many meals.